It's not a radish.
Turnip.
It's close to a turnip.
It's a turnip. Turnip.
This is a beet. All right, this is some beets.
Oh, beets.
Okay.
I'm turning up.
What about this?
Lettuce. Banana peel.
Not a banana peel.
Corn.
All right. Can anyone recognize what this is? This is a very moldy clementine. What's that?
Banana.
It's a worm and some paper towels. All right. Okay. Has anyone smelled compost before? Okay, I'm going to bring this around and I want you guys to smell it. Looks like. All right. And you guys notice it's really nice and loose. There's no chunks of stuff in it. All right. It's also really dark. And what does that really dark soil mean?
It's very healthy.
Okay, it has a lot of organic matter in it, so it's really healthy. Mr. Good asked if we grow just directly out of the compost. We usually don't, because you usually mix it up with soil just because it's a little bit of like a precious commodity and you don't want to just use that. But also you can sometimes have too much nitrogen and too many nutrients for plants and they won't grow well.
How long does it take to transition from there to there, and what else do you have to do? Because that looks really different.
Okay, so the way that you make compost is there's two different parts of compost. There's the green part of compost and the brown part of compost. And so the green part of compost is the stuff that's high in nitrogen, and that's things like fruit and vegetable scraps, leaves and straw and sawdust, and paper towels. All right, and so the way that you make compost is it's actually kind of like making lasagna. All right, so you put down a layer of green stuff, usually in like a bin, and then a layer of brown stuff. And then you actually sprinkle in some dirt because that's full of those decomposers that will actually help break it down. So the worms and the microbes, all right? And then you do more green and more brown compost. And then sprinkle on, yep, just like making lasagna, all right? So you do that for a few more layers.
I want a cake.
Or like a club sandwich. The basic idea is that it's layered, okay? So you get this, and then you let it sit like this for a month or two. How long it takes depends on how hot it is, all right? And so during that time, what happens is this bacteria, and so first the worms and the insects start to like roam through it and start to decompose it and mix it around. All right, so the compost that we saw had already been mixed around and broken down a little bit, all right? And so eventually it gets too hot in there because the worms are doing so much work, and then the bacteria and the fungus kick in, all right? And so then they start to break things down, and then after usually a few weeks, they've used up most of the oxygen in there, all right? And it's kind of gotten water, and so what we have to do is a farmer comes in and takes it and stirs it all up and turns it over and puts it into another bin. All right, and then you let it sit for another few months, it decomposes again, and usually you turn it like one more time. So we use a 3-bin system, sometimes you can turn it more. But so to get it to go from that chunky stuff to this, it takes some time, and it takes turning over, and it takes those decomposers.